Welcome to BSW's Tech Dive. Tech Dive.
Submerge the ship.
The show goes technically deep into products you care about. The new, the old, the newish. So put on your gear, close up the hatch, and prepare to
Dive. Submerge the ship.
And now, here's John.
Hi, I'm John Lynch, Director of Business Development for BSW, Broadcast Supply Worldwide, and BSWUSA.com. Today's Tech Dive, we're talking Tieline. Specifically, we're talking VIA. VIA is a great new entrant into remote broadcasting equipment. And I got to share a little bit with our guests here, both Doug Ferber and Jacob Daniluk from Tieline, because, see, I can share stories from back in the day when I was a sportscaster. This is a whole lot different deal because remember when we used to have those Western Electric phones and you could spin off the microphone and then we'd alligator clip the output of a mixer to that phone, and that's how we did remotes back in the, well, it was way back in another century. Anyway, VIA has changed everything on that regard. Number one, it's very simple to set up. Number two, it sounds really good. Let's talk about it. Doug Ferber, pick it up from there on the VIA.
Well, thanks, John. Thanks for having us today. It's great to be with you. I call the VIA the Ferrari of remote codecs because it's best in class. It's compact. We call it a studio in a box, and it's perfect for play-by-play. If you are in a pinch, you could actually run your entire radio station from this 3.5-pound machine. So it's got connectivity, redundancy, all the stuff that Tieline is known for in this box. And with that, I'll kind of let Jacob run with it a little bit because he's our tech expert. I'm just the sales guy. But I will tell you that a sales guy knows how to use a VIA, and he picked it up almost immediately. So that means anybody can use that machine.
And Jacob, one of the key elements of VIA, this, of course, replaced the legendary iMix, which Tieline had actually asked my opinion when they were first developing it, and I gave them a few suggestions, and I think the one that actually came through was the extra channel. But with VIA, you've addressed something very important for most sports remotes. I'm not talking about the big network ones with a big broadcast booth or something, but where you have such a very small area to work with, and VIA fits right into that package.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the biggest things we wanted to look at when designing the VIA was the form factor and what extra bells and whistles we can put in there and still give the flexibility that our legacy units, the Commander G3 field unit and the iMix both still give to the community. So that's why you'll find that the VIA offers 3 XLR inputs for mic or line level audio. But then we also still give you an auxiliary stereo bus for PC audio that we found a lot of customers used with pre-recorded audio or automation systems. So that gives you nice, easy interoperability between the VIA out in the field and your laptop without extra dongles or extra USB devices for audio for XLR into a PC.
Basically, in that regard, what you're referring to from a radio station operator's perspective, it allows them to operate without a board op, so you can control the entire broadcast, commercials, and everything from the game site.
Exactly. And whether or not you want to do that through your traditional automation system through a laptop, you can, or we've actually gone a step further, John, with that type of scenario where we have a built-in recorder and playback system in the VIA itself. So you can actually load all of your station commercials, spots, ads, etc., all onto an SD card, put it on the VIA, build it in a playlist, and then out in the field, you can actually have your talent play the spot ads right off the VIA in real time. And then the VIA will actually give you an accurate countdown timer so that it can help keep you in line and keep you on track for the game broadcast. It's a pretty slick device when it comes to ease of use and giving you extra capabilities out in the field, especially when it comes to like automation and playing those commercials and spots.
Well, let's talk about the ease of use for a moment, because isn't it almost sort of like plug and play? You know, walk in, hit a button, here you go. Almost.
Doug, I was going to say,
I'm telling you, if a sales guy can use it, anyone can use it. You know, literally, it's a touch screen. It's set up just like your computer in your office or at home. Literally, it's easy as anything else that you would use on a computer.
Yeah, and setup wise, we've wanted to keep things as simple as possible for the ones actually using the equipment. One of our clients, for instance, they've set up the VIA where all they have to do is train the talent. This is where the audio goes in. You plug it in the XLR inputs, you turn on your mics, you hit the power button to turn on the VIA. The VIA will automatically connect to your internet connection through our wireless module built in if you choose to go that route, and it'll connect right up. And then the nice thing is that's all they have to know. Everything past that, you can take control at the studio.
Yeah, you know what also, John, is if the talent is still can't get it, using our cloud controller, an engineer can control it from his sofa or from his office at the radio station. So it can be controlled remotely or by the talent on site.
And that's a good thing, because I've known a lot of engineers over the years, both when I was in broadcast and obviously since I've been here at BSW. And there are some talents out there where the engineer would like to have the control. So he's got that then, and makes it very simple. Yeah. But I, from a occasional talent side, look at it in another perspective. The less I have to worry about the gear, the more I can concentrate on the game, or for a podcaster, the content, because that's what's most important.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The engineer, they want to focus on just getting you up and running and working. The talent, we want the talent to be able to focus on what they were hired to do, broadcast your product, your content.
And Doug, one of the other nice things that Tieline did here is that, okay, we're looking at different things. Okay, we got to find a travel case to fit this stuff. Now, you took care of that with a VIA.
Yeah, it's really, it protects the unit, and it makes it convenient to put all the necessary stuff, dongles, whatever additional stuff you might, or cables, small cables in it. You can, I don't know, Jacob, how high can you drop the case from and still not harm the unit? And literally, it's foam protected. It's nice and small and compact. It really is a nice thing to have.
Yeah, and I'm sure John can probably attest to this too. At all the trade shows I've done in the past, when we were traveling and doing trade shows, I'm sure John has probably seen me a handful of times accidentally drop my VIA here or there, and everything works fine on it still. To this day, we've had customers drop them pretty high. We've had baseballs hit VIAs left and right before.
Yeah.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And everything's fine on them. That's the nice thing about Tieline is we look at the build of materials we have options to use, and we look for the toughest materials to make sure that these remote products can take a beating out in the field.
And
what's also unique about the VIA, John, is that you can incorporate our reported app with it and use it as a sideline reporter wireless mic,
awesome.
And shoot it directly into the VIA, and then send both of those signals in one stream back to the studio.
Because that's more of what, at any level in a sportscast, that's what the content workers are trying to do, provide more source material. So you've simplified it. So, instead of having to go in through an expensive wireless microphone system or something like that, VIA with the reported app simplifies that. So now you're getting what's going on the sideline or elsewhere in the stadium or whatever you have, and going right into the VIA to the game broadcast.
To give you an idea of how much less equipment you'd need with this unit, is that we have a client in the Midwest, small market guy, stepped up, bought a VIA, and he eliminated 2 of his 8 bags of equipment that he uses for every game, which is amazing.
That sounds like my old days back in another century. Yes.
Yeah.
So you got that right. That's huge. Plus something else, and I always tell this to any sportscaster, what is important is your gear arriving properly. You've got a nice, small, compact VIA. You can take your headsets. You can put them all into like a small athletic bag or something of that nature collectively. And then you carry it on the airplane.
And everything's built in. So if your stuff gets lost on a trip, you don't have to worry about the mics if you've got them in the same bag, your power cords, it's all built in. The EQ is in it, the mic processor, everything is built into this unit. So that's why we call it a studio in a box.
And there's an awful lot of equipment out in the marketplace right now that the VIA can connect, correct, Jacob?
Yeah, the VIA, ideally we always want to stay within the Tieline ecosystem. So that will give you a lot of redundancies like our Smart Stream Plus protocol for hitless packet switching, or our Fuse IP for link aggregation. So you can connect to any Tieline product that is IP capable on the VIA. The nice thing though is the VIA goes outside of that too, and Tieline as a whole does too. So if you have that third-party codec and you're not in the Tieline ecosystem, it doesn't mean that the VIA cannot work for you. So keep that in mind, that you're not locked to an ecosystem like some manufacturers will have you believe. Here, we believe that you should get the product that best fits your case specifically. And in our mind, and we ask you guys to give us a call too about it, and we'll talk you through it. We think the VIA is the perfect field companion for remote broadcasts because it can connect to just about any codec manufacturer's product out there.
The product is called VIA, as you see right above Jacob, VIA. It's from Tieline. And Jacob Daniluk and Doug Ferber, thanks very much for joining me. And thank you for watching this edition of BSW Tech Dive.
Baby, turn out the light.